Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Antes del nombre América, antes del hierro y la cruz, había pueblos que hablaban con la tierra y con la luz. No era un mundo vacío, era ciencia y corazón. La historia empezó aquí mismo, aunque el invasor no pida perdón. Tiempo en el cielo cuando el mundo no sabía contar. El cero nació en la selva, el maíz nos enseñó a pensar. Calendarios y medicina, ciudades frente al sol. No era mito ni leyenda, era pueblo, era voz. No fue descubrimiento, fue invasión. No fue silencio, fue opresión. Antes del mapa, antes de ti, había pueblos completos que no vas a entender. No éramos pasados, somos raíz, aunque nos llamen historia, seguimos aquí. Desde el barro del origen hasta el jaguar ancestral, desde la selva profunda hasta el águila solar, ciudades que eran mundos cuando Europa se partió, capitales que flotaban mientras el viejo mundo ardió. En la montaña aprendimos a vivir sin dominar, sin rueda y sin bestias, pero sabiendo gobernar. Caminos y comunidad, trabajo como misión. El poder no era conquista, era responsabilidad. No fue progreso, fue despojo. No fue fe, fue antojo. Antes del mapa, antes de ti, había pueblos completos que no vas a entender. No éramos pasados, somos raíz. fe pa'l control, pero la tierra recuerda. La raíz no se rinde, aunque cambien las banderas, la herida no se extingue. Norte a sur somos la misma raíz, la misma herida que se niega a morir. De norte a sur nadie sobra aquí, Latinoamérica sigue y no va a pedir permiso para existir.
Estamos aquí, oye, que estamos aquí. Mírame, estamos aquí. Desde hace rato, cuando ustedes llegaron, ya estaban las huellas de nuestros zapatos. Se robaron hasta la comida de gato y todavía se están lamiendo el plato. Bien encabronados con estos ingratos. Hoy le doy duro a los tambores hasta que me acusen de maltrato. Si no entiendes el dato, pues te lo tiro en cumbia, bossa nova, tango o vallenato. A lo calaboy y bambú, bien frontú, con sangre caliente como Timbuktu. Estamos dentro del menú. Tupac se llama Tupac por Tupac Amaru del Perú. América no es solo USA, papá. Esto es desde Tierra del Fuego hasta Canadá. Hay que ser bien bruto, bien hueco. Es como decir que África es solo Marruecos. Estos canallas se les olvidó que el calendario que usan se lo inventaron los mayas con la Valdivia precolombina. Desde hace tiempo, este continente camina, pero ni con toda la marina pueden sacar de la vitrina la peste campesina. Esto va para el capataz de la empresa. El machete no es solo para cortar caña, también es para cortar cabeza.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde, si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde, si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Los paramilitares, las guerrillas, los hijos del conflicto, las pandillas, las listas negras, los falsos positivos, los periodistas asesinados, los desaparecidos, los narcogobiernos, todos los que robaron, los que se manifiestan y los que se olvidaron, las persecuciones, los golpes de estado, el país en quiebra, los exiliados, el peso devaluado, el tráfico de droga, los carteles, las invasiones, los emigrantes sin papeles, 5 presidentes en 11 días, disparo a quemarropa por parte de la policía, más de 100 años de tortura, la nova trova cantando en plena dictadura. Somos la sangre que sopla la presión atmosférica. Gambino, mi hermano, esto sí es América.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde, si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde, si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
El autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
I think we're all set. I think we are. I think we definitely are. See the hold on. All right. Volume sounds good. Hold on a second.
Bruh. Que alguien me explique. Bruh. Bruh.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
That's what we're gonna tackle today. Anyways, man, I hope you guys are doing good this evening. We're gonna go about an hour and change, and that's it. All right, because I gotta work tomorrow. Anyways, I got this to share. I gotta share this with you, so we can continue that vein that we were working on before. Right? I've talked a lot about how the so-called conquistadores, you know, the invaders and shit, the rapists, murderers, creeps, that they weren't just white people, right? And that's what black folks and white folks both owned slaves since 1492 all the way through 1865, right? I made that very clear. One thing I haven't talked about is something about these people here. So if they were also enslaving people, like, you know, black folks, right? Supposedly natives were too. So let's talk about that. So if natives and black folks were enslaving people like white people, who were their slaves? So we're gonna try to explicar that tonight. You know, hopefully we can go fast. So I want to first of all talk about this right here, because again, we're gonna go back to the root. Edom or Odin, which is, you know, their god, their deity. It's they. Trust me, family. Edom is Odin. That's why Valhalla. This is how you identify these people. The Edomites are these people right here. Trust and believe. Do your homework. I've done many videos on this shit. You shouldn't be like what are you talking about? You know what I'm fucking talking about, all right? Edom-Odin is hiding their roots. So what roots are we talking about? We're not gonna go all the way back to Europe. We're gonna go to where they got here. We're gonna learn about indentured servitude. We're gonna learn about also partis equitur ventrum, which only apply to the native indigenous sisters. Don't let no one else lie to you about that shit. Okay, and I'm gonna prove that through books. We're also gonna see about Vacon, Francis Vacon, and then the Bacon Rebellion. There's gonna be a lot of talks about that. So let's get going. First and foremost, I wanna show the fucking hatred, the ignorance and the hatred that they have towards our people. Thinking they're so much better than us, right? Yet nobody told them that they were indentured slaves like every motherfucking person. You see, the first white folks that they were sending over here, family, they were fucking bums. These people owed money or didn't have money, or were in the penitentiary, and they're either having to indenture their shit out of that or not. So nobody came to civilize us. If anything, we civilized them. Make that a fact. Their hatred just like bleeds through their skin. Want to know why? Because they envy you. Let's begin.
Right here. And when you swipe right, the White House really just posted this. This is Spider-Man right here. And when you swipe right, I want to show you what it becomes. It becomes this. Criminal aliens will be caught and deported. And the White House put them in spiderweb. This is all because the new Spider-Man movie is out. Now, I wonder what Tom Holland will have to say about this. But when people talk about, this is the official White House account, by the way. This is not Trump's personal page, none of that. This is the official White House account. This is where world leaders and foreign governments go to get information about what's happening in the United States of America. And here we have them using Spider-Man as a way to promote capturing undocumented immigrants in the United States of America by ICE, putting them in spider webs and sending them back to wherever they want to send them to. And we've seen messages like this from the White House repeatedly ever since Trump took office, but the use of Spider-Man in this case, especially as the new movie's out, will certainly ruffle feathers, as it should. As always, spread the word, follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come soon.
You can see, really? The White House, like yeah, specifically for you. So Spidey Whitey is gonna come and web all you beaners, spicks, and wetbacks. Oh, by the way, and let's include illegal in there. Beaner, spick, wetback, and illegal is a nerd terminology for us, okay? So let's go back. Education time. First it was beaner, or first it was wetback, then it was beaner, right? Border hopper. I guess raza wasn't really called spick, but they were. Greasers, they called us greasers too. So wetback, beaner, spick, greaser, and now an illegal. I know I hurt people's feelings. I saw like a few people leave. If you're in this channel thinking that we're going to speak softly to you, you are in the wrong channel. There are adults here, right? I'm not a big channel. Not many, well, actually, nobody gives a fuck about my shit, to be honest. Because if you compare my channel, like subscription, to like massive amount of fucking members, nobody gives a fuck about my channel. I totally get it. You know, maybe it's my way to vent. Fuck it. I don't care. Thank y'all for supporting as much support as you guys give me. That little one that compares to other people is tremendous. So at least here we are honest. Right. That's that right there, because we have a pedophile, rapist, orange president. Right now is the problem with the black infiltrating on Indian territories, pushing black Africans, East and Indian tribes. Yeah. But you know, it's not new. We're gonna watch it. But check it out, Impala. You're gonna be surprised about some of the stuff that I'm gonna bring up. All right. So let's move on to the next video, because again, it's like this lady said, Luke, the fucking behavior, the perpetual hatred that they have for you, indigenous gente, your indigenous brothers and sisters. Let me remind you, right? And, you know, it says it in a song, de norte a sur, somos la misma raíz, pendejos. Understand that? Del norte al sur, all the way up north, all the way down south, right? Somos la misma raíz. And somos la misma herida que se niega a morir. I know a lot of y'all voted for trompetas because you thought, oh, I don't want to feel the pain of being raza. I want to be white. Or it's something else. It don't matter. Check it.
Official White House TikTok account just posted this. A along with this caption, deportations will continue. And if this was anything other than just, well, blatant racism, if this was about legal immigration, about doing it the right way, then we might also see, well, the Canadian version with hockey, poutine, Justin Bieber playing in the background, or the German version with Oktoberfest, or the Irish version where Donnie's mom is from, or literally any other country. But it's always Mexico. Mexican culture is always used as the punchline. Because
Always. Let me read something to you. In case you guys don't know about this channel, I have a lot of classes with a lot of, biblical perspective behind it. Okay. I did kind of get away from it a bit. Not purposefully, for many reasons. But we always have to go back to the root. Ezekiel 35:5 says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of our gente, I'm going to say it that way in this particular case, by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. 1492 is the beginning of that. You see, it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, why you bring up 1492? Why you bring up 1776? Why you bring up 1492? Why you bring up Christopher Columbus? Why you bring up 1492? Why you bring up 4th of July? What the fuck?
Bruh.
That's what I'm saying. We need some answers.
Because, well, tacos aren't illegal, mariachi isn't illegal, sombreros aren't illegal, and immigration status is literally invisible. It's a piece of paper. Nobody walks around with a sign that says US citizen or green card holder or Einstein visa holder, as was the case with Melania. Videos like this have nothing to do with immigration status. Instead, they're just depicting an entire culture, which actually doesn't help anyone enforce immigration. Instead, it just makes it incredibly dangerous for the millions of Mexicans or people that look.
It's funny because those that hate you either want to be you or they want to deport you. Those that love you don't want to even be you or envy you. They're just they. Again, we don't say every single black person is every single white person, every single Asian, every single Arab. Nah, we're not saying all of that. We're not generalizing everybody. No, every single Arab or Asian Arabs are Asians technically. So no Asians and no Europeans, no Africans, so to speak, right? I'm not saying that everybody's generalized. It's very clear. This young lady right here is what they consider an Edomite, right? We don't know. Again, it's the spirit that moves these people. Let's continue. And that's why they envy us, by the way. The most beautiful people on the planet of the earth does not necessarily mean the physicality, the physiology, or physical. What's the fucking word? Anyways, I'll come back to me. Whatever that word is, about our, like the way we look, the characteristics of our face and stuff like that. Characteristics of our face. What the fuck am I talking about? Let me get to the video, man. I'm losing my mind.
Look like Mexicans who live in the United States, regardless of what their piece of paper says. And look, normally I don't even comment on the White House's social media posts because it's all rage bait. It's designed to make you angry. It's not serious policy communication. It's not meant to inform. It's meant to own the libs. And congratulations. Except, well, this just made me kind of hungry. I think
she's a teacher in Mexico. That's why she does these videos. So I want to give you this perspective, okay? I'm going to give you the when I heard this.
Are you saying that white supremacists?
I mean, technically, it was good to hear in a sense that it's honest. For the first fucking time, these guys are wearing their stripes like they're wearing their stripes. They're not being hypocritical. But listen, this is why people did what they did. And again, I'm giving you the root. These are just videos initially, by the way. We're going to look at a video. Let's get educated. Let's go. Look at the hatred, perpetual hatred.
Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald Trump so they could kill migrants?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good to know that white supremacists make up part of the Republican Party and Donald Trump's doing their bidding.
Yes, I certainly believe they do.
Okay.
Law enforcement, duly elected by a population that voted in plurality for ICE to go out and engage in these
citizens?
Which sometimes, yes, absolutely. And
they voted for ICE to kill American citizens, really?
Yes. Do you?
The average Republican, I don't think they're that
Who
crazy.
said the average Republican would vote? But do you not believe that there are people in this country that would vote for ICE to harm people?
Wow.
Who are you?
How blunt, huh? Yeah, people voted for Trump so then ICE can fucking deport these beaners. That's what they call us, family. I want that to, like, let's put it this way. I'll give you an example real quick. I know you guys don't give a fuck, but I'm gonna say it anyways. My daughter, she's 5, right? Very good player, good soccer player. I'm actually helping them out in their little soccer team, all right? So I'm a little coaching again. Anyways, I taught her to, like, not worry about the word beaner. So she's like, little beaner. You're a beaner, Dad. Oh, you're a beaner. So now sometimes we're out there in the store, and she'll say something like, oh, God, you're such a beaner. And I'm like, hey, some people will take it bad. And she's like, okay, I know. But if anybody ever tries to insult her with those particular words, it's like, okay, and that's the reason I did it. That's the reason I did it. When you minimize these connotations and you bring them to submission, that we don't submit to the fucking connotation, like, oh, he called me a beaner. Yeah. Because I eat fucking beans, bro? That's a silly comment. Like, you might as well call me a ricer because I eat rice too. Or why don't you call me a burrito? Because I eat burritos, right? Or why don't you call me a tamalero, way? Because, like, I eat tamales. You know how ridiculous that connotation is? So it doesn't matter what they use. What matters is the spirit in them. You see this, they hate you. Now, I need you to, for a moment, process that. Think about that. They hate you. Why? Oh, because you're taking their jobs? Because of the economy? Because of Jesus? No. It's because of what you look like, what you stand for. Since 1492, they've been trying to destroy our roots, and they cannot. We are multiplying like no other nation in the entire universe. Even in some people where they're low income in Mexico, Central, South America, we are still having motherfucking babies, and they are not. So how, it's like, fuck, I can't get rid of these cockroaches. I fucking hate them.
Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald Trump so they could migrants?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good to know that white supremacists make up part of the Republican Party and Donald Trump's doing their bidding.
Yes, I certainly believe they do.
Okay.
Law enforcement, duly elected by a population that voted in plurality for ICE to go out and engage in these
Citizens?
which sometimes, yes, absolutely. And
Oh, they voted for ICE to kill American citizens, really?
yes. Do you?
The average Republican, I don't think they're that crazy.
Who said the average Republican would vote? But do you not believe that there are people in this country that would vote for ICE to harm people?
Is this your argument?
Do you believe?
This is terrible, Tim.
So you think not a single person in this country wants to harm illegal immigrants?
What's the relevance? We're talking.
I think not a single person in this country wants to hurt illegal aliens. He's okay with saying that. He is 100% comfortable with saying, yeah, people voted to hurt Mexicans. And they follow me on my podcast, and I get paid to promote it. Yeah. Straight up. Straight the fuck up. It's crazy, huh? Let's continue.
Talking about the fact that there is a top-down approach by Republicans like Donald Trump.
Can I ask you the question again? Can you answer the question?
And allow it to happen, foment violence in this country.
Can you answer the question?
And you're running cover for it. Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald?
Well, I gave you a glimpse of their hatred, right? Like, look at this, right? We're getting an idea, right? Getting like a concept of their mindset. So I found this video. And in this video, I actually do have some comments to make because I do have some history information.
Struggle
hold on
with getting a good picture.
Hold on, bro. I do have some information regarding the history here. Okay. So let's go ahead and again, what is the topic in hand? EDOM-ODIN is hiding the root. EDOM-ODIN is hiding the root. Family, white people were slaves just like black folks, just like indigenous. As they came later, they were considered indentured. They were no better than you. There was no when these motherfucking people try to tell you that, oh my God, we were here, we're so great. And when we put our foot down, our blonde hair and blue eyes just shined across the lands of these savages. No, they were shitting on themselves. They were eating themselves. You know what I mean? It was really bad. So let's get some real factual history and hear it from the horse's mouth, literally, by the way. Because, you know, technically the scriptures say they are beast. I'm just saying, listen intently and listen with not emotions. Listen with the ears of wisdom. Do not let anything that I share with you or teach overcome your anger and control you and be hateful. Be mindful, be wise, and be truthful to where we are, who we are, and what we stand for. The reason we got destroyed was because they broke our unity. What we believe in, familia, our elders, right? And our creator. We believe that. Familia, our elders, and our creator that gave us this land to fucking be fruitful in. It's that pretty much simple. If you don't want to talk Bible, it's that simple. Let's go. Now we're going to get into the root of Edom. Why? Because you motherfuckers were slaves too. You were indentured servants, and in many times you became slaves. Black folks owned you, white folks owned you, right? Let's get to it.
White people did not exist before 1681. Again, white people did not exist on planet Earth until 1681. Number two, any claim that this group called white people, any claim that that group is rooted in biology or derived from genes or biology or is innate or is from nature is a lie.
Eugenics, okay? Eugenics. There's no superiority in these motherfuckers. You see, there's a propaganda concept, right? So it's like if I'm a leader of a bunch of stupid ass motherfuckers, which we see Donald Trump, like you guys should have seen. Oh my God, it's crazy, bro. Anyways, so if I'm a leader of a bunch of stupid asses, I can propagandize their mind. Make them believe something that's not true 100% contrary to who the fuck they are. And you know what? They'll go around and actually believe it. Hey, we got an example of it bluntly, even within our own little second circle of like genre. What do BHI do in the streets? Kiss my boots, eat them. Like for real, bro. That's exactly how they are. They took some supposedly heritage that was never theirs in the first place. Yeah, that goes for you, BHI. And all of a sudden, like really, really feels like superiority just overcame their fucking fro and their skin tone. Same reason with the white folks. Somebody told them a story and all of a sudden they feel like, oh shit, we enlightened the entire world because we're blonde and blue. Sure.
Third and final point. As a matter of foundational law, actually, let me say it this way. White supremacy has been embedded in the United States of America from its founding as a matter of law. Now, I don't expect you.
In mind, she gave us a year. I'm going to go back a little bit because I think sometimes things go over your head. Okay, let's go back a little bit. I'm going to speed it up. Well, actually, I already did. Shit. Let me speed it up more, bro. Come on. We don't got that much. Just kidding, fam. All right, let's go. All right, pay attention. After what year or what prior to this year, there was no such thing as white folks. So after that year is when that white supremacy became. And guess who was behind that white supremacy? Yes, the Francis Bacon family. Yeah, the same one that edited King James. The same one that Sephardic Jew traced. His family, which is under the Bacon Rebellion, is what stirred all this shit up between races. And I mean like, you know, color. Let's go.
White people did not exist before 1681. Again, white people did not exist on planet Earth until 1681.
1681, there was this concept of white supremacy, propagandizing all you stupid cracker barrels. Well, I'm greater than that, or that's big beta. That's what they made these fucking idiots believe. Like it's like Forrest Gump being a racist towards you, bro. It's like we got a bunch of Forrest Gump, Trump supporting people being racist. My name's Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump. Like that, you got a bunch of Forrest Gumps following Trump, bro. Straight up. They're like, you know what I mean? They're not all there, and then they're fucking racist. Why? Because they made them believe that they were superior than other people. Far from the truth. Let's continue. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth. You mean they, not me, not this African brother right here, right? Them.
Number two, any claim that this group called white people, any claim that that group is rooted in biology or derived from genes or biology or is innate or is from nature is a lie. Third and final point. As a matter of foundational law, actually, let me say it this way. White supremacy has been embedded in the United States of America from its founding as a matter of law. Now, I don't expect you to buy all that.
Founding meaning 1776. Now you understand the racism. 1776. You see, these were racist Freemasons. They also allowed black Freemasons or Negro Masonry, which is like Prince Hall Masonry. But there was still categories. You know, there was a ladder of the elites, right? Certain people had certain powers. Not everybody was, categorized the same. Just like us indigenous brothers and sisters, we're at the bottom totem pole. We were beneath white folks. We're beneath every slave that you can consider. Now you might think, oh no, that's not true. Okay, where's your land, fuckface? They're calling you illegal, alien, beaner spick, wetback, deportation. Every 4 years, they use you as a piñata so they can get voted. Tell me if I'm wrong. Paula says, black and white holding hands and on the boat heading over. Yeah, for real. Let's go.
To get all that, to believe all that, at least not now. But
Paula, that's a good fucking point, bro. That is such a good point. You know why? Because this solidifies everything I've been saying. Black and white folk came together and they fucking took advantage of all of these lands, bro. They made you believe that it was only gringos, right? Black and white folks holding hands on the boat heading over here. But then something happened in 1680, 17 and shit. And then all of a sudden, the Reconstruction Act and all in 1860 something, you get what I'm saying? These motherfuckers were fighting for power. I mean, you're talking about Sephardic Jews. You're talking about Arabs, Muslims. Look, Jews and Muslims of British colonial America is a phenomenal book that you guys should read about because you'll start seeing and hearing the fucking history that nobody talked about. You'll see. I'm going to show you some books about that too because Francis Bacon comes out, his ass is in there. And that's where you see that he's a supposedly, quote unquote, maybe a Sephardic Jew. Nah, fuck no, he was. A so-called Jew. Let's continue.
my job is to share with you the legal history that proves each of those three claims that I begin with. So let's go. Let's get started. We have to begin this conversation in colonial North America, specifically in the colonies, the British colonies of Maryland and Virginia. Both were British colonies, and both shared a number of particular characteristics.
To this, that's when, you know, the Baithless individuals, right, showed up, and they were there by the Appalachians, close to our brethren that were there at one point. Let's find out who these people were as they were coming over here. I mean, they tell you, family, that you are uncivilized, that you're a savage. What does Trump say? When Mexico sends his people, they don't send their best. They don't send you. He's pointing at a white guy, white girl. They don't send you. They don't send you. No, they send their rapists, their murderers, their drug dealers, and sometimes maybe some. Sometimes maybe some. So he's like, sometimes maybe some are good people. Negative, 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 and then a little positive, bro. Shh, you guys don't listen to these people, do you? It just runs over your head.
First, their economies were rooted in tobacco farming. If you know much about tobacco farming, it requires tremendous human labor. Lots and lots of workers. So those who owned large plantations, big landholders, constantly needed laborers to do the work to grow the tobacco. In addition to sharing an economic base, both colonies had an incredible gender imbalance, roughly 10 men for every woman. Now, let's understand a little bit about the folks who constitute the people in these two colonies. Oh, and
She's going to talk about the folks. So who were the people working the tobacco land? Were they black? Let's find out. Let's find out if they were, because again, this is about their root. The root that they're hiding. You know, something they don't want you to find out about. Because they want to feel superior than you, and they don't want their minions, you know what I mean, their Forrest Gumps, to find out that they're Forrest Gump. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're slaves too. Talk about the first motherfucking immigrants. That was you.
by the way, let me give you a year. We're in the early 1600s, okay?
Let me say this real quick, why I say that. So the Spaniards, they were invaders. These British were illegal aliens. You know, keep that in mind. They were illegal aliens. So all of these motherfuckers over here that are in the government right now, Republicans specifically, claiming 250 fucking years, so proud of their European heritage, but claim to be from this continent. I don't know why. It's kind of confusing. All of a sudden they forgot about this. All of a sudden they forgot about this right here. Listen.
An incredible gender imbalance, roughly 10 men for every woman. Now, let's understand a little bit about the folks who constitute the people in these two colonies. Oh, and by the way, let me give you a year. We're in the early 1600s, okay, the early part of the 17th century, colonial North America. England had, for some bizarre reason that today demographers cannot explain, there was a population boom in England in the early 17th century. So there were lots and lots of poor British people who were on the public doles, who couldn't find a way to make a living, who couldn't feed themselves.
See, so like Trump says, when Mexico, here, it's like this. When Europeans send their people, they don't send their best, raza. They don't send you, roofer. They don't send you framer. They don't send you doctor. They don't send you abogada. They don't send you great, phenomenal farmer. No, they don't send, no. They send rapists. They send poor people. They send people that are vermin that will poison our bloodline. They just send the worst. I mean, maybe some, you know, maybe a few, you know, a small portion are probably good people, you know what I mean? But we don't want those Europeans here. They're vermin. They're poor, they're dirty. Why would we want them here? That's exactly how they talk to you today. And they made these, I'm gonna fucking say it again, all these goddamn Forrest Gumps who voted for Trump believe that they're superior than you. We're finding out the hidden roots of the Cracker Barrels. Now you understand the perpetual hatred, because they know that's their history, family. They just don't want to share it with you. Because Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of our gente, indigenous. I'm not going to say that name for the sake of the fact that's going on over there in Gaza, our brethren. By force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity, had an end. So perpetual hatred, right? That's exactly why, fam, because they know that you are much better than them in every fucking possible way. Just like the brother said. Let's continue.
So the king in England was quite happy to have them sign a contract of indenture to then go work in the British colonies. And that is what happened. Both indentured and enslaved persons, according to historian Edmund Morgan, were sold and traded like cattle.
Again, we talked about a lot regarding that, you know, Morenos were also slavers, right? Well, let's talk about this little Cracker Barrel life of them. It says, white cargo, a forgotten history of Britain's white slaves in America. British colonies were importing mainly Irish people and a lot of Irish people and a lot of their poor people. And this is, I mean, honestly, I hardly ever brought this information out. I think I brought this out 3 years ago. Hold on a second, 40, about 3 years ago. On chapter 4, we see the Becan's rebellion. The planters, listen to this real quick. The planters' nightmare of a combined uprising between blacks and whites came true when a charismatic young aristocrat turned an Indian war into a campaign against his own class. The English grandees, swearing never again, the grandees set out to divide the races. You hear that? That's why I was saying I've done many classes. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago is when I started really kind of bringing this out. Bro, y'all collateral damage. You didn't realize that they never gave a fuck about you. They came here, they conquered, they had to decimate our people. Now we're still coming back with more life once more. But you know what? Now they're like, we don't give a fuck about these dumbasses. They helped us. Guess what? You know the elitists? You know, like Elon Musk and all those billionaires? He's a trillionaire, bro. You guys have no idea what the fuck that means. This video that we're going to watch right now, though, is going to explain that. She's going to say, hey, listen, like those planters from back then, you know, that had a bunch of slaves, it's just like the 1% that's today.
But of course, not all laborers stand equal in terms of their labor agreement or lack thereof. Those who came under a term of indenture worked for a term of years, and presumably this indenture was an agreement that they chose to enter into. The terms of indenture were largely protected by British law, although the terms that took form in colonial North America were quite different than those that existed in England. For example, in England, indentured servants could marry because that was viewed as the way to produce the next group of workers. In this country, indentured servants were prohibited from marrying, and if women were unfortunate enough to get pregnant during their term of indenture, they added usually about 7 to 9 years onto their term of indenture and 1 year to the father. Slavery, of course, was a status that came with life, work for life. There was neither British law nor international law to prohibit or restrict slavery. What we do know is that at this time period in colonial North America, there were free persons of African descent. We know that landholders freed slaves. They did so in wills. They did so by allowing them to purchase their own freedom or the freedom of a family member. The vast majority of workers, laborers, in colonial North America at this time were British men, British workers, the vast majority. There were some women.
Did you hear that? So who needs reparations? This is so fucking crazy. I never ever talked about, well, I mean, I talked about it a few times. I figured white folks will bring it out themselves. But now that I see that white people don't want to bring this out, I'm going to bring it out. Yeah, white folks were slaves. You were no better than the black folks, no better than the indigenous brothers and sisters that were enslaved before you, the ones that were taken across the world, thrown overboard when they couldn't make the ship. They claimed that it was you first. Fuck no, man. You just took the movies and made more than you know, or anything. When have you seen a movie about indigenous people going through slavery, taken to Spain, and then in the process being thrown overboard, right? Did they do an amistad? Well, not amistad. It's funny how they called it amistad, right? And they didn't include you. Listen, we're gonna cover this, bro. We're not fucking around here, okay? This is Africa's gift to America, okay? Listen to these pages, and you guys, hold on, let me go back. Let me say, Africa's gift to America, the Afro-American in the making and saving of the United States, making and saving. Okay, sounds good. J.A.R. Rogers, this is a white guy that just happens to have woolly hair. But anyways, you know, let them decide. So you see these pictures? See this right here? They marked it off. So they would take European girl captured by Moorish sea captain from Voltaire, daughter, whatever, right? See this right here? That's black folks, right? That's what we know. That's all we know, right? But we never knew this. Slavery of whites in America. It happens too. But the first slaves in what is now the United States were white Englishmen. Holy shit. Now, this is a perfect time, and I've shared this, man, I've shared this video so many times, but I think I need to share it right now. I need to share it right now. You want to know why I need to share it right now? Because guess what? It says here that what? It happens too that the first slaves in what is now the United States were the white English, right? Okay. All right. So now we have an educated man here who basically says the same thing. Again, I'm not making it up. Let them tell you. Let it hear it from the horse's mouth. We don't have to fucking make shit up here. If anybody got offended, I'm glad you got offended. It's about time you learn some fucking history instead of being bombarded with bullshit like you're so fucking great. That's why, you know, there's certain white folks that actually do help our gente. I appreciate that, right? Maybe they realize, hey, you know what? We were slaves too. Maybe they know history. Let's listen to this. Remember, keep in mind, I wish I could turn this into English, but I can't. So it's in Spanish. Forgive me. Let's continue.
Y entonces ocurre un fenómeno. Se descubre América. Los primeros esclavos que van al Nuevo Mundo son blancos. Sí, señor, blancos. Y los primeros negros que van al Nuevo Mundo son esos que tenían ya 50 años o más de presencia renovada.
You understand what he meant? The first slaves were white British people, not black folks, because they came with the Spaniards to help them. Hey, yo, Chihuahua. Hold on a second. Listen to this.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
And to all you motherfucking invaders.
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
Fuck those putos. So the Spaniards and Morenos came together first. They were negros, were not enslaved. They were not like, oh my God, we're on ships. Fuck no, shut the fuck up. You owned slaves, you had slaves, you had encomiendas too as well. Then later on, right, as the, I guess you could say, the changing of encomiendas, you know, just trying to hide slavery because people were passing laws over in Europe. You're like, how can we get this? How can we figure this out? But in British land, there was no, you know, prohibition like towards slavery. So guess what? The first slaves were white. That's what he means. Let's go.
Y entonces ocurre un fenómeno. Se descubre América. Los primeros esclavos que van al Nuevo Mundo son blancos. Sí, señor, blancos. Y los primeros negros que van al Nuevo Mundo son esos que tenían ya 50 años o más de presencia renovada y que eran negros ladinos y preparados militarmente para la conquista. The
word Latino comes from the word Ladino. That's why they don't name, like they don't consider raza, like people from here, like usually like Mexicanos. Usually raza, bro. Like Central Americans and all, they can do that too. I don't know why, it's weird. But raza, they consider you quote unquote Hispanic. They don't consider you Latino. As you know, in the islands, people that have African descent, however levels they have, they call them Latinos. Do you understand why now? Because the Ladinos were those Morenos, those Africans that were Spaniard, assimilated in their life, in their root, in their whole fucking economy, their whole, you know, cultural style of life, all of that shit. This is stuff you didn't know, but you're finding out now.
Capitulación de Toledo que firma Francisco Pizarro en Toledo con la reina Juana en el 29, otro sí, pide 50 esclavos entre los cuales debe haber un tercio de hembras y se aprobó. Esos eran negros ladinos y estos negros ladinos ayudaron a la conquista.
These black Ladinos helped in the conquest, the rape, slaughter, murder, burning, raping. Shit, I said it twice. Well, you know, because that's fucking horrible, bro. Yeah, y'all helped them.
Recibieron los mismos honores o los mismos castigos cuando los indios vencieron que los españoles.
This is why I emphasize this video, because obviously we need to know, like, okay, so really white people were enslaved. Well, who was enslaving them? Look, You can see now. Because these Morenos were in Florida already. Louisiana, all of those regions. Remember, keep in mind that, you know, the first British were up in the northern part by the Appalachians. All below that was basically, you know, maybe there was some space. Then there were the French, but the Spaniards were there. And a lot of Spaniards were Morenos. A lot of Morenos had Spanish last names. And then they started changing the last name. Like, for example, Ramos, right? A Moreno, like a black dude, say, you know, Alberto Moreno, was like now Robert Bush. Juan Corona was now, Tyrone Crown. You know, Carlos Blanco was now, I don't know. Let me see. Let me tip another name. Jose Blanco was now John White. You understand?
Los primeros esclavos fueron blancos, porque la esclavitud no reconocía color hasta esa época. Y la prueba está que en el siglo XIII, cuando Alfonso X el Sabio redacta las 7 partidas, en una de ellas, tomando quizá algo del Código Justiniano, dice que no es de natura esclavizar a otro hombre. Entonces la esclavitud casi estaba abolida. Revive con el descubrimiento de América y sin noción de lo que iba a hacer esto se mandan blancos. Ahora, no vamos a decir que los blancos llegaron encadenados. Se mandaban a los blancos por castigos, se sacaban de las cárceles. Porque
they were poor or because they were in jail. And we're going to read a little bit about that. Let's continue.
Estaban en la inopia y iban en una forma de contratos temporales que ellos mismos pudieran manumitirse.
So once again, this is from, you know, Africa's Gift to America, slavery of the whites in America. It happened too that the first slaves in what is now U.S. were white Englishmen. So these cracker barrels that get on like Republican, you know, podcasts like, oh, us white people, we're so great. We showed up and we taught these savages how to be civil people. No, we didn't. Hey, what's his name? Benny, whatever the fuck, butt plug. You know, that fucking stupid ass Republican podcast. All of them. Tell them. It's just funny to me, bro. It's funny y'all don't know the history. It's crazy. But you know what? Let's continue.
There were some European laborers from Portuguese, Dutch, folks from Ireland and from Scotland are also revealed in the records, but the vast majority were British men. There were small numbers of persons of African descent, and there were even smaller numbers of members of native tribes.
In those areas when the British were coming over here and shit, the majority of the slaves or indentured for them were British. A few Europeans, meaning like Portuguese or Spaniards, whatever, a few Africans, and a few natives. We understand where the actual slavery came with our people. Yeah, we're talking about up there in fucking, you know, East Coast, way up in the cold. Pay attention. Let's go.
But in this slide, I'm trying to capture the socioeconomic ladder. And really, that ladder should be about as long as this room. The landholding elite are, in today's parlance, that's the 1%. And the vast majority of folks who were in the colonies.
What's up, sis? Good to have you here, man. Sorry, sis. I always got to pause whatever I'm doing because I love the fact that you love that shit.
That's right.
Hold on.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
That's not the button.
A ver, que alguien me explique!
All right. Good to have you here, sis. Let's continue.
Were laborers. Again, they were British, other Europeans, Africans, and members of native tribes. Here's what I find folks have the most difficult time with. We tend to really struggle with getting a good picture of social life, the social context at this juncture. We're very good at understanding the social relations that exist later, and we'll talk about those in a moment. But pre-Bacon's Rebellion.
You see, pre-Bacon's Rebellion, right? Remember I showed you that book? Bacon's Rebellion, right? The planters' nightmare of a combined uprising by blacks and whites came true when a charismatic young aristocrat turned an Indian war into a campaign against his own class. So he used Indian native brothers to then fight against black and white individuals to then cause havoc between them and us and, you know, control the masses, because this is what the elitists do. A lot of y'all fell for it. I don't blame you. I think I would have probably done it too. I wish I would have found out which book this was from, and I just remembered because I had read a good chapter of this book, and I remembered that page because I highlighted that because it relates to all this relates to participator venture. But anyways, on this page 77, I believe, because I do have other pictures of it. It says again in 1666, and barely a decade before the onset of Bacon's rebellion, Governor Berkeley issued an order against the Rappahannock River tribe. So here's our people being, you know, being pushed against, okay? Members of the tribes allegedly murdered some colonists. Allegedly. See, now you understand? So an aristocrat claimed that the native was killed, some white, whatever, black person. What happens? Members of these tribes allegedly murdered some colonists in that section in violation of the Treaty of 1646. With the 1660 to 1661 Retribution Act in place, which then followed up what followed up was what's called participator venturum, meaning that if the woman indigenous happened to be captured and was a slave, then her babies would be slaves. Why do you think a lot of these morenos supposedly are native? Because it was mostly them that were purchasing our sisters. You want me to show you a picture? This is where I just get disgusted by these people when they come to my fucking channel and try to say like, you guys are Mongols, you guys are Spaniards. Shut the fuck up, bro. This is what I fucking hate about dumbass people. You're like another Forrest Gump with just woolly hair, bro. You're just Forrest Gump with naps. That's it. Like the fucking nerve of you. You know what I'm saying? You don't even realize the history. You don't even realize what your people did. If my gente was doing this shit, I would fucking call it out. I wouldn't be proud of it. But at least I'm not going to run from it. Right? How come these pictures are taken? Why is this historical? We see it. We have it. Why do we run from it? What do you see? You see that? You see all these people? White people, black people. Who the fuck are they selling? Does she look like, what does she look like? You tell me. And who's selling her? And who's not for sale? They're not for sale. She's for sale. With the 1661 Retribution Act in place, the General Court, Berkeley presiding, declared that for revenge of the alleged murders and for the prevention of future mischief, the tribes would be prosecuted with war and their women and children taken, then disposed of according to such instructions as shall be issued from the right honorable of the governor. Remember that class I did yesterday? I showed the video regarding Shane Baum, how she was actually reading what Hernan Cortez and what he was being prosecuted for, even though he had died, that he killed 400 of our people, of our men, kept 3,000 of our sisters and children, and he branded them with an iron and as slaves. So this is what they teach them. This is what they teach them, right? They only give them a glimpse of those things. They're like, oh, look, we conquered. Look at us. We're so great. But they never actually taught these Forrest Gump motherfuckers that they were slaves too. And that Negros had you as slaves. Just like Negros were slaves too. Just like natives were slaves too. But our slavery didn't necessarily come from these two motherfuckers right here. It came mostly from the Spaniards and this motherfuckers right here. Okay? I want you to remember that shit. So these motherfuckers right here helped the British right here. And these motherfuckers right here helped the Spaniards too. You want to call them your friends? Oh, black and brown, we got to unite. Really? Did we ever? Have they ever? Fuck no. They've always been on the white man's side. What the fuck's wrong with y'all?
Oh, that's gonna hurt! Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Yeah, I know it is. Here we see, like, if you actually read this book, bro, watch. I'll give you a little bit of it. It says, it invites uproar to describe as slaves any of these hapless whites who were abused, beaten, and sometimes killed by their masters or their masters' overseers. To do so is thought to detract from the enormity of black suffering after racial slavery developed. However, black slavery emerged out of white servitude and was based upon it. You understand now? Now you understand the fucking dynamics? Now you understand how people fucking lied to us? Lied to you, lied to me. 1619 was full of shit. There was no such thing as Willie Lynch. Get that shit out of your head. Willie Lynch's letter never happened. That motherfucker never wrote it, never was sent, it was never mailed. It's all bullshit. Hold on. However, black slavery emerged out of white servitude and was based upon it, as African-American writer Laurent Bennett Jr. was observed. When someone removes the cataract of whiteness from our eyes, and when we look at the unclouded vision of the bloody shadow of the American past, we will recognize for the first time that the Afro-American, who was so often second in freedom, was also second in slavery. Excuse me. Hold on a second. Hey, Mr. White Man, you need to fucking step back and say third in slavery. Hold on. This goes for all you chihuihuis. And by the way, and if you don't like me,
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
Because I bring facts. Of course, black slavery had hideous aspects that whites did not experience. Bullshit. They all did, bro. Negroes were backbreaking you. Negroes are still backbreaking you in jail, white boy. What are you talking about? Why'd you even write this shit? Oh, well, I mean, we didn't suffer as much as they did. Yeah, they're still fucking you in the boot hole. Like, seriously, check it out in jail. Dude, this is just so fucking crazy. Morenos in jail love white booty, male white booty. I have no fucking clue why. I think we do now. Right? But they suffered horrors in common, many of which were first endured by whites, which, again, the first Morenos here were helping the Spaniards. They weren't slaves. The first slaves, servitude, were the British. This is what it's talking about. Do you understand now the bigger picture? The bigger picture. What up, Solo Mate? Good to have you here, brother. You know, hay años no. Ya tengo tiempo que no he platicado contigo. A ver si un día te marco, hermano. No sé por qué no me marcas a mí. No me tengas miedo, bro. No te voy a morder. No te creas, eh? Good to have you here, bro. Let's continue.
Society is something that we generally in this country struggle to grasp. So I'm going to do my best to paint a broad stroke picture of this time period. What we know is that British and African laborers worked, ate, and slept together.
British and African slavers ate and worked together. You see, what I'm trying to do, family, is get rid of the bullshit. You see, white folks, y'all need to stop lying like you supposedly came and conquered on your own. You didn't do none of that shit. El Moreno and the Spaniards came first and they worked together with the Jews, so-called converts, but, you know, we'll call them Jews for now. You came later. And you didn't come with your fucking best shoes and your best fucking presents. No, you were on the bottom barrel of the totem pole. You were the first slaves in this land based on your European concept. Because you don't consider encomienda slavery, right? So I'll give you that. The problem is this. When you white folks and you black folks admit the fact that you both were fucking slaves and you both helped each other in this whole fucking nonsense of 1865 and all that, shut up, bro. Once we come to the conclusion that both of you Negroes and both of you white folks were owners of slaves, we may come to a resolution. Maybe we may actually just turn some shit around. But now, as long as you guys have this egotistical or this ignorance or this stupidity, guess what? It's still going to happen. And us indigenous brothers and sisters are going to sit back and watch you just fucking decimate yourselves. Because we know the fucking truth. You don't want to admit it to yourselves.
Furthermore, the evidence from this period, which covers the first 3 quarters of the 17th century, that the anecdotal evidence reveals that they lived under similar conditions and faced the same opportunities and chances to make it once one was free of their term of service, whether free of...
Hey, black folks, can you explain yourself? Hey, FBA, what the fuck are you going to say about this?
Enslavement or free of indenture. So let's review this. British laborers constituted the vast majority of the populations in both colonial Maryland and colonial Virginia. All men, of course, because the law of coverture, let me tell you something about that law of coverture. The law of coverture is derived from British common law, and it structures marriage. And this is how Barrister Blackstone famously described the law of coverture. In marriage, the man and the woman become one, and the one is the man. You didn't have the right to retain your own wages. You couldn't create estate planning, wills, or trusts without the approval of a man. So all men who were free of indenture or enslavement faced the same opportunities in these colonies as a matter of law. For example, free men of African descent could own servants or slaves, and they did. They could vote, and they did. They could marry persons of the opposite sex. God, and I love that I have to make that qualification now. Woo! They could marry persons.
You realize they laugh at that, but they didn't even like look at the facts that Negros own slaves. Did that just like walk over you guys? Here's another material that I have real quick. Listen to this real quick. Page 63. I think this is called the historical perspective of, oh God, it's been so long since I've read that book. Historical perspective. Hold on. Sorry, you know, man, when I get in my head, fuck, I can't. I don't want to give you guys some bogus bullshit. Hold on. Historical, fuck. Oh, shit. Judicial. That's what it's called. Judicial. I think it's this one. Hold on a second, family. My brain still works. Thank you very much, Lord. Oh, hell the fuck yeah. Bam. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I may be 50 years old, but god damn it, I still fucking have a fucking great memory. So the book is called, it's so great. I haven't read it in years, but I remembered because of this class. Judicial Cases Concerning American Slavery and the Negro. Why is that important? Because if you read here, it says, in the latter history of Indian slavery in Virginia, it is the female. Let me read it again. In the later history of Indian slavery in Virginia. What is that? British colony, right? British colonies. We're talking about Anglos and Saxons. They think they're Anglo-Saxons as one race, but it's not. You guys are a mixed breed. You guys are white mutts. Anglos and Saxons are two different types of people, even though you got the same fucking concepts. Watch this. In the latter history of the Indian slavery in Virginia, it is the female Indian slave who is prominent as the ancestress of slaves petitioning for freedom. For if she had been enslaved unlawfully, her descendants in the female line were free, in accordance with the axiom of the civil partus sequitur ventrum. What does that mean? That means that if the indigenous woman was a slave, her kids will be slaves. And it says on page 63, however, the colonies did not depend on the traffic and kidnapping for their supply of Indian slaves. Hold on, let me read it again. Because you see, this is stuff that we don't read. Nobody tells us this stuff. Nobody told you, sister, like for example, Lameshi, nobody told you that they're like, let's put it this way. Imagine that fucking law today. Well, the kids that you have to continue the life that you have. So for example, let's say, I'm not gonna put you in front of you. Let's just say that you work for, I don't know, I'm older. So the fucking first store that came in my mind was Kmart. Oh my God. Nobody knows what Kmart is, bro. Or Gemco and shit. That's so funny. I can't believe I even thought that. Let's just say that you work for fucking, I don't know, man. Just some company. And you work in the machinery department, okay? This law says that what you do is what your kids are going to do. Your kids cannot do nothing else. It don't matter if they go to school. Nope, sorry. So what that meant was if you're a slave, sis, if the Morenos, took you and raped you and had babies with you, and you were a slave, those kids would be slaves. So that Moreno would own you and own those kids as slaves. Same thing with the white man concept. This is what I'm telling you, family. When you see Morenos claiming like, oh my God, look at us natives. We're natives from my mother's side. Oh, I wonder why. Do not be fooled, family. Yeah, mucho tiempo, brother. Matter of fact, I'm going to call you this weekend, bro. And you know what, Solomé? Si no te hablo este fin de semana, háblame tú también, bro. You still got my number. No seas a stranger, bro. I still care for you, my friend. You gave me great advice one time. You don't stop working, man. When I heard that about you, bro, like it just changed my mindset about certain things. So muchas gracias, brother. And that's what we mean by we need our elders to give us examples. Because like if they're doing it, that means I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. So it says here, once again, however, the colonists did not depend on traffic or kidnapping for their supply of Indian slaves, but took the enemy, quote unquote, pagan. See, pagan. You worship a fucking statue with a cross. You worship a dead man that came back 7 times, that the Hindus knew about, that the Druids knew about, that the Romans knew about, that, there was a guy that died on a cross way before Jesus did. And we're pagans? We're pagans by their own prowess in war, and enslaved him long before the passage of the Virginia Act of 1776 and 1679. You see, this connects with the whole Bacan Rebellion, 1662, 1661, 1660. You follow? When forces were being raised in the Maryland, meaning the British colonies, in 1652, remember, for a march against the Eastern Shore Indians, such Indian prisoners as shall be happen to be taken are declared the spoils of those who financed the expedition. So when, or if we lost, the people that put the money in, which were usually Sephardic Jews, would own the natives. Thus, we have shown that the first slaves in the colony of Virginia were Indians, not Negroes. So you see how this is saying now. So when you say white folks or white people or light-skinned people, now we see a different perspective. Thus, we have shown that the first slaves in the colony of Virginia were Indians, just like the white folks, not Negroes. Why? Because they were what? Invaders. They were colonists. They were fucking conquistadors with the Spaniards. And that the law of the colony sanctioned Indian slavery, except, hold on, for a few years after the passage of 1670. This is what she says. After 1680 something, then white people became. Because prior to that, there was no such thing as white folks. Why? Because they were getting tired of being enslaved. Blacks were enslaving them. They were being taken on ships. They were taken to Barbary. They were being bought all and sold all over back in the world. Listen, I'm telling you, man, these are facts. But let me say you one thing. These are not Israelites. You know why? Because nobody took the language. Nobody took their religion. Nobody took their heritage. Nobody stole nothing from them. They were just sold and bought back and forth like cattle. Contrary to us, we don't even know who the fuck we are. Some of you guys say you ain't Mexicans because you were born on the land that used to be Mexica land. It's fucking stupid. Anyways, let's continue. Let's see. The practice of colonists in accordance to their law is illustrated by the cases in the courts of Virginia and Maryland. Then it says from 1627 to 1831. In 1627, some Indians of the Carib Islands were brought into the country, Virginia, by Captain Sampson. But the experiment was too disastrous and warranted repetition, to, at least on a wholesale scale. Besides the traffic in Indian slaves between Virginia and Maryland colonists mentioned above, the Maryland courts contain other instances of Indian slavery. We're talking about white people being enslaved. We're talking about Indians being enslaved. Who the fuck would enslave them? We don't see Negros being enslaved. Hey, FBA, you still think you believe in reparations, you fuck faces? Fuck you today, fuck you tomorrow, and fuck you forever if you still think that way. Yeah, that's right. Come to my channel, let me know. Educate me a little bit. Maybe I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. In Maryland, in 1656, they belonged to the household of the to the household of one overseer, a Negro, meaning the overseer, meaning the person that was in charge under the owner was a Negro, a white woman's servant. and then Indian slaves. You see, the white woman was a indentured servant. In 1661, Indian slave. In 1661, one citizen of Maryland demands an Indian. Promised him a satisfaction of another Indian belonging to the whatever, sold by order of the cred, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? And this is where you actually read it on the bottom. In the later history of the Indian slavery, it is the female Indian slave who is prominent. So if she's a slave, her kids are slaves.
Persons of the opposite sex regardless of national origin, and they did. In fact, marriages between men of African descent and women primarily of British descent were not uncommon at all. In one county, 1/2 of the free men of African descent were married to a European woman.
Now you know why. What are those FBA people? They's like, we ain't from Africa. We're not from Africa. We're from the Americas. We don't know those Africans. Oh, she just said because you were fucking white people. It's fucking funny, man. We seen the World Cup, family. We seen a bunch of Morenos that look like the Morenos here that they know they're Africans. And then these Morenos here want to tell you that they're not from Africa? Please wake the fuck up.
There was a challenge to these marriages, but it did not come from the masses. It came from elites, and that's what we're going to talk about next. All right, this little depiction is meant to...
There was Negro elites, dirty bastard Negro elites, buck-breaking white folks, Indian folks, black folks. Bro, just fucking disgusting. But you see, in this country of yours or ours, it's not politically correct to say that because supposedly some people need reparations. Or some people think they're superior, that supposedly they civilized black and brown folks. Now you understand where I'm going with this? I know I'm very harsh. I know I'm very blunt. I apologize, but I don't. Because I don't know any other way to fucking speak. If I was eloquent, I would probably apply it. I don't have any other way to speak. I see the shit, I say it, and it's what it is. Why? Because it's just obvious. We don't have to be adults to fucking look at the obvious. You could be a young man and be like, you know what? That is not true. Now that I see the facts. So you telling me that they've lied to us? 1619 was bullshit? Yep. You mean white people weren't like superior? Nope. You mean indigenous natives were the first one thrown overboard on ships in the sea? Yep. You telling me that black and white folks were feeding Indians to dogs? Yep. You're telling me that Jesus, in the name of Jesus, people were killing people and raping and shit? And you telling me that Jesus is not real, neither is in the Virgin Mary is not real too? Yep. Hey man, and if I offend motherfuckers,
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
That's why I played the video initially in my class since I started this channel. Si nos remontamos al silencio, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el Señor y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía y el entusiasmo los ayudaron y los desfiguraron. La debilidad le rinde culto, la crueldad los conforma, ¿cómo se dice? La actitud los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres siga a sus propios intereses. All day I see AI thumbnails of black ass dudes with Indian headdresses all day talking about, but they won't take a DNA. It just shows a weakness.
Be a depiction of the...
We're almost done, by the way, okay? Another 20 and we out.
Lawmakers in Maryland, colonial Maryland lawmakers. They passed a law in 1664 punishing, and I quote, British and other freeborn women who marry enslaved Negro men. The punishment for entering into these marriages was that the woman herself would be enslaved for her husband's life, and any children they have would be enslaved into their 20s.
Let me go back a little bit.
Now, other freeborn women, 64, punishing, and I quote, British and other freeborn women who marry enslaved Negro men. The punishment for entering into these marriages was that the woman herself would be enslaved for her husband's life, and any children they have would be enslaved into their 20s. Now imagine that you are a plantation owner. That's not a bad deal. I get more property. I like that. And that is exactly what happened. Rather than deter these marriages, which is the express intent of the law of 16...
Though that there was arguments in 1863, 64, 65 before the actual, the Deconstruction Act. They were talking about white standard. What labeled people as white standard? Because there was black folks that were light skinned, like today, like the white folks, like the black folks that claim to be natives, and they're light skinned. They're lighter than me, right? They claim to be natives. It's the same concept.
1664. Rather than deter them, these marriages were encouraged by property owners because that, in fact, that such a marriage increased their property value. This law of 1664 represents, if not the first, certainly the precursor to anti-miscegenation law. These are laws that punished or prohibited marriage between, notice that white people didn't exist yet in 1664, at least as referenced in that law. But most generally speaking, anti-miscegenation law prohibited and punished marriages between a white person and a specific non-white person or persons. Let me be really clear. I read all the time in history books, in academic texts, and I read anti-miscegenation law described as prohibiting interracial marriage. That's not correct. For example, a member of a native tribe could marry a person of Chinese descent. Both were understood as racially distinct, but never did anti-miscegenation law prohibit such kinds of marriages. The only marriages that anti-miscegenation law prohibited were those between a white person and always a person of African descent, and sometimes various other groups. Okay, so just so we're really clear about anti-miscegenation law and its link to...
This is where we start trying to kind of make sure that we don't get stuck in the rabbit hole. She said that negros own slaves too. What about that? What about that? Let me remind you, family.
The White House really just posted this. This is Spider-Man right
Are
here.
you saying
And
that
when you
white
swipe
supremacists
right,
voted
I want
for
to show you
Donald
what it
Trump so
becomes.
they-
It becomes this.
Shut up.
Criminal aliens will be caught and deported.
Let me show this once more, and then I got a video, and then we out. Okay? I said 20 more minutes because we want to show about 10 minutes of stuff, and then some songs, then we out, all right?
The White House really just posted this. This is Spider-Man right here. And when you swipe right, I want to show you what it becomes. It becomes this. Criminal aliens will be caught and deported. And the White House put them in spiderweb. This is all because the new Spider-Man movie is out. Now, I wonder what Tom Holland will have to say about this.
They were the
when people
Cowboys
talk about,
before-
this is the official White House account, by the way. This is not Trump's personal page, none of that. This is the official White House account. This is where world leaders and foreign governments go to get information about what's happening in the United States of America. And here we have them using Spider-Man as a way to promote capturing undocumented immigrants in the United States of America by ICE, putting them in spider webs and sending them back to wherever they want to send them to. And we've seen messages like this from the White House repeatedly ever since Trump took office, but the use of Spider-Man in this case, especially as the new movie's out, will certainly ruffle feathers, as it should. As always, spread the word, follow along for all the news you need to know about, more to come soon. The White House really just posted this. This is Spider-Man right here. And when you
The official White House TikTok account just posted this. Along with this caption, deportations will continue. And if this was anything other than just, well, blatant racism, if this was about legal immigration, about doing it the right way, then we might also see, well, the Canadian version with hockey, poutine, Justin Bieber playing in the background, or the German version with Oktoberfest, or the Irish version where Donnie's mom is from, or literally any other country. But it's always Mexico. Mexican culture is always used as the punchline. Because, well, tacos aren't illegal, mariachi isn't illegal, sombreros aren't illegal, and immigration status is literally invisible. It's a piece of paper. Nobody walks around with a sign that says US citizen or green card holder or Einstein visa holder, as was the case with Melania. Videos like this have nothing to do with immigration status. Instead, they're just depicting an entire culture, which actually doesn't help anyone enforce immigration. Instead, it just makes it incredibly dangerous for the millions of Mexicans or people that look like Mexicans who live in the United States, regardless of what their piece of paper says. And look, normally I don't even comment on the White House's social media posts because it's all rage bait. It's designed to make you angry. It's not serious policy communication. It's not meant to inform. It's meant to own the libs. And congratulations. Except, well, this just made me kind of hungry. I think I'm gonna go get some tacos.
Migrants?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald Trump so they kill migrants?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good to know that white supremacists make up part of the Republican Party and Donald Trump's doing their bidding.
Yes, I certainly believe they do.
Okay.
Law enforcement, duly elected by a population that voted in plurality for ICE to go out and engage in these
citizens?
which sometimes, yes, absolutely. And
oh, they voted for ICE to kill American citizens, really?
yes. Do you?
The average Republican, I don't think they're that crazy.
Who said the average Republican would vote? But do you not believe that there are people in this country that would vote for ICE to harm people?
Is this your argument?
Do you believe?
This is terrible, Tim.
So you think not a single person in this country wants to harm illegal immigrants?
What's the relevance? We're talking about the fact that there is a top-down approach by Republicans like Donald Trump.
Can I ask you the question again? Can you answer the question?
And allow it to happen, foment violence in this country.
Can you answer
and
the
you're running
question?
cover for it as a moderate.
Crazy, huh? Crazy, crazy, crazy. We're almost finishing, family. I just want to show you there's a couple of videos and that's it. Let me read what Impala's saying. Thank you, brother, for being here, brother. You've been very supportive, bro, and I thank you for that. All those nasty bastards getting up the boats ready to rape anything moving. Damn, I don't know about that. I've sat and watched these black kids tell each other to send your DNA. They will fix it up for you and figure out how to get money for the tribes. Next show needs to be about wobbles. Oh, yeah, fuck yeah. Man, dude, listen, though, I'm always banging on wobbles, bro. And here he goes. Hey, listen, Chihuihuis. This goes for you.
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
Well, it shouldn't just be that, bro. It should be what the fuck we're seeing. It's not just one fucking nationality going against us. Several. Let me give you this right here, this history, and I'm going to show you the other video, man, and we out. I think you're going to like this.
They were the cowboys before the cowboys. The muralist before the muralists. The activists before the activists. I'm talking, of course, about Mexican Americans. Ostracized by both political parties, courted by both political parties, one would be hard-pressed to find a more, well, misunderstood demographic. And yet, 60% of all Latinos in the United States are of Mexican descent. That's 30 million people. But Mexican American culture is complex. Over time, it has given birth to new subcultures, some of them even more misunderstood. Today, I'm on Whittier Boulevard to meet a man who's dedicated a good chunk of his life to preserving this history. That's a nice car. And explore what is perhaps the most misunderstood subculture of them all.
Hey, man. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing? Nice.
Fucking would be a subculture in our own land.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Yes. Can't happen. I like this brother's message right here. Hope you guys appreciate it.
Mexicanos con los pantalones para abajo. Why is it that when they teach Texas history, they tell us que pescaron a los mexicanos con los pantalones para abajo? Why do they tell us? Why do they feed us and mess up our minds with these lies? Every San Jacinto day, the Chicano is reminded that he was beaten. The school books have to be rewritten, and they have to be written by Chicanos. Until now, the Chicano was considered brown. In the census that they take at school, they have white, black, and they used to have an others. We used to be others. Not too long ago, they decided we were Mexican Americans. Now, because it's convenient to them, we're white. They are using the Chicano. Why is it that when they teach Texas history, they tell us que pescaron a los mexicanos con los pantalones para abajo? Why do they tell us? Why do they feed us and mess up our minds with these lies? Every San Jacinto day, the Chicano is reminded that he was beaten. The school books have to be rewritten, and they have to be written by Chicanos. Until now, the Chicano was considered brown. In the census that they take at school, they have white, black, and they used to have an others. We used to be others. Not too long ago, they decided we were Mexican Americans. Now, because it's convenient to them, we're white. They are using the Chicano.
You hear that? Only when it's convenient, right? And then you stupid motherfuckers like, hey, well, you know, they do love us. Every time I look at, you know, like, what's your nationality, what's your race? And it's like, it says white or Hispanic. I guess I'm white. Pendejo. Good night.
Mexicano bandido, todo el barrio prendido, siempre ando bien cuido, siempre poniendo ruido. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, yo defiendo mi tierra, no me dejo de nadie, yo cuido a los míos, mi raza se aferra. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera, yo la levanto por donde quiera, verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera, el barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera, yo la levanto por donde quiera, verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera, el barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Me voy tendido, me voy empinando mi bote, un poco mareado por la bebida y el borlote, me tiene hasta la riata la gente con su mitote, pero me despreocupo, me pelan todo el garrote, me para la chota, ya es por mi apariencia, que hay tantos delitos, que hay tanta demencia, yo no cargo nada, no más mi presencia, pinche puerco joto, atente a las consecuencias, si no topa el poli en breve nos para en la calle, no puede salir uno conmigo porque ya hay detalle, no quiere que conteste, quiere que yo solo calle, quiere mi dinero pero que chingue su madre, a la dica este sistema nos quieren ver abajo, pero tumbar gente quien les dijo que es trabajo, puro chingar al indio, váyanse mucho al carajo, loco no me rajo, lo bueno porque
se armó la alianza más pesada del país, todo el mundo ya conoce las rimas de estos MCs, pa' ponerme más feliz, unos paisas de hachís, mis paisas en el gabacho bien truchas con la polis, loco en Guanajuato con los ojos bien tumbados, de cote con el quesada, rifando por todos lados, atento si prendo un blunt, en cabina cuando grabo, represento Nuevo León, junto a mi carnal el Davo, cuando voy pa' Jalisco el pasado está olvidado, con el perro de la C bien grifo, pedo y enfiestado, chécate mi banderón, unido como había soñado, bien bajado ese balón, compa lefty bien bajado, puro hip hop mexa, hasta que amanezca, pásenme un mezcal y que no se apague la yesca, ya saben que aquí andamos pilas pa' lo que se ofrezca, si escribo estas rimas es pa' que se enorgullezca.
verde marihuana, blanca cocaína, roja la sangre que escurre de una nueva herida. Yo salí de la ruina, nunca se me olvida. Con disciplina y respeto sigo en siempre la movida. Ando bien high, la vida es un freestyle. Disfruta lo que hay, vivo entre el bien y el mal, carnal. Crazy life todo el día, viendo live. Pinto tu barda con spray, lo que canto es real. Azules y rojas las sirenas que me persiguen. No suben pa' la virgen, salen todos cuando chifle. Mi barrio no lo pisen, que andamos todos grises. Maldito policía, no quiero que me revises. Prende la mota en Canala o en Hitter. Ando con mi flota y el dealer. Tenemos lo que se te ofrezca, tú nada más pide. Me dijo mi madre que de la envidia me cuide.
Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano. mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera.
Ya, háblanse cabrones, llegó el mexicano partiendo sin necesidad de palancas. Todos jugamos en la misma liga, yo soy titular, tú ves desde la banca. Disfruto cada cosa que me pasa, colaboro y mi carrera se levanta. El mismo cabrón que antes no tenía nada, se la pasa viajando y dice que canta. Por eso me caga enfermarme de la garganta. Pero aguanta, traigo mata natural y humo de planta. 2, 3 cabrones dando lata y yo haciendo más plata. De esto la vida se trata y pa' que sepas no es barata. MC da bolos desbarata con cada escalón que sube. Yo tuve la suerte de hacerme fama en YouTube. Hay 2, 3 raperos de antaño que me bajé de su nube. Los mandé pa' su casa y de premio hasta les pagué el Uber. Si alguien me tira es porque sabe bien que domino el negocio y quiere de mi parte. No quiero darlas de grande, pero si me tiras la neta me toca humillarte. Soy capitán, llevo el estandarte. Somos muy pocos los que hacemos arte. Este flow si es de Marte, tú dale like y comparte.
México lindo y bandido, diario a Diosito le pido que me cuide a la familia si un día el cora ya no late. Estoy bendecido porque me cuidan los míos. Orgullosamente me exatamos locos de remate. Jaque mate, no hable de volar si viene gateando. La cosa por la frontera se pone violenta, no importa el rango. Toda la raza jalándole duro, si hay algo seguro es la muerte en donde ando. Sudor y la sangre en la frente, los de alzada controlando. Se roban la atención, ya saben quiénes son. Vatos locos con sazón como el de un corridón. No quiera tomarme el pelo si ando todo pelón. Levantando la bandera, viva México cabrón.
La bandera con un águila, Simón, mi tierra es esta. Me vale si mi piel o si mi acento les molesta. Acá jalan horas extras, nunca duermen la siesta. Están los que van pa'l jale y los que la viven de fiesta. Otros que en el pintón se tatúan de corazón. 3 colores en el pecho, morirían por su nación. Aunque su puto gobierno los puso en la situación de no terminar la escuela y terminar en la prisión. ¡Viva México, ladrones! ¿Qué hubo, les presidente? Ya saben que por mí policías chinguen a 20. Y ahí están mis 20 pa' la cagua. Agua, que es tierra caliente de Chiapas hasta Chihuahua. Wow, 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 yipi-yo, yipi-yucas. Buenas, Montequín, Aguas, Tijuas y San Lucas. San Luis Potoyes, Mataulipas, La Puebluca. Dime si o no, loco, acá tienen lo que buscas.
Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera.
Puro hip hop mexa perros 2023.
Ey yo, ey yo. Somos la santa carnal. Ey, ey, dale, machidones de la plaza. Oye, DJ donde que los scratches. Desde alzada, mi perro. No saben quién soy o sí. Oye.
So other kids can follow your lead, you know what I mean? Yes. Check this out, check it. Let me show you this track real quick.
Chicanos killing Chicanos is what they want. Blacks and Chicanos killing each other is what they want. That's how they run this place. Once we get together, they don't run shit. Got a lot to learn about being Chicano.
Yeah. Alcatraz, midget loco. Yeah. They never seen this coming, man. What up, Loon? What up, Oreo? 500 years of captivity. What else? Now they tryna tell us how we supposed to be, how we supposed to act, how we supposed to rap. How I'm brown but my flow too black. Come on, y'all kidding me, right? Nike Air Flights fitted cock back fresh. Representando mexicanos on the map. No estoy jugando, got bars like I battle on smack. But hold on, I'ma bring it right back. My people indigenous. I'm not sure if you getting this. By the time I'm done, you gon' be feeling this. I come from the people, they call me MESHIACHA. I've been to the motherland, Chichen Itza. Seen the Mayan ruins, intellectual architects. Been in the cenote, seen ancient artifacts. Really? Cali is Mexico, those are the facts. They raped women, gave elders heart attacks. It was a battle, our people were outgunned. Took life and cattle, we were outdone. However, 2 wars proudly we take to the grave. Those we call our Independence Day. It's time to stand up, educate our people. Stay on our ground, let them know that we equal. We see your plan, but your plan is see-through. You can't stop my people. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm holding it down.
Story with Mexicas,
Mexicano, gave birth to the word that we know as Chicanos. Aztec warrior, man, it's all in my blood. From the Tenochtitlan, that's the heart of the love. Now Mexico City, that's a modern day name. Don't let the books confuse it, to be a modern day slave. Gotta get your facts right and study the culture. Don't be like Cortez, he came like a vulture. Came to just steal and take away the land. He seen what we got and he was like, damn, who would've guessed it had to be a white man? Damn again, now we got stolen lands. They say go back to where the fuck you from. Man, this is my land, that's what you stole from us. I'm not Hispanic or Latino, I'm a Mexican. Man, fuck La Militia, you can have that bitch.
It's time to stand up, educate our people. Stay on our grind, let them know that we equal. We see your plan, but your plan is see-through. You can't stop my people. Mexicano, we're brown and proud. Mexicano, we're brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm holding it down, yeah.
When I think of all the years I struggled without complaining, like when I came here walking all the way from Michoacán, and what your mother went through to bring you back when you were a baby, so you grew up to be a man with respect. Don't you have any pride? ¿Tienes conciencia? ¿No tienes dignidad? Fuck la dignidad! Fuck it, and fuck your struggle. You think anybody cares about it here? Huh?
This is the cipher ahora Babylon real. En esta ocasión traigo a los gangsters más gangsters de la zona y vengo con la familia gang. ¿Cómo dice? Llaman a real. Traigo el mensaje puro y crudo para el momento. No palabras vanas que rompen los sentimientos. Lucharé y derribaré los muros del lamento. Pídeme pues te daré los sueños que están muertos. Nunca el demonio dio mensajes de amor, pero tampoco los dio el ángel que nos abandona. Quizás miremos diferente el reloj, pero tu cielo es el infierno donde el amor murió. Political violence, criminals, physical redemption hasta cacacar el baile. Typical style, musical fraile. Mucha es la promesa en la que se han llevado el aire. Love, love, love. Siente verdad como no en mi corazón. No more, no more, no more. It's a reggae cipher. Feed the world. What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Throw the jungle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí. What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Throw the jungle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí.
Fue que me brotaron alas y ganas de volar. En las buenas mi terreno lleno, en las malas solar. Un muro que decorar, mis hermanos me sirven de guía, mi estrella polar. Guarda los hilos, me duele hasta respirar. Solo quiero ver verdad. Sigo buscándome lejos de lo que piensas. Más fácil de lo que crees, el esfuerzo trae recompensas. Vale la experiencia si es intensa. No tires de la cuerda si está tensa. Miraban al ocaso con tristeza. Las estrellas devolvían con grandeza su mirar. Nos vimos floreciendo en la maleza. La belleza de las piezas y comienzan a encajar.
Es de reventar el beat. Throw the jungle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí. What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Throw the jungle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí.
51, 52, con un micro de bambú, más vuelta que Passepartout. Me siento en la old school. It's magnetic kung fu, it's a reggae magnatur. Por las almas sonrientes que acompañan a Zazú. En bambalinas y balú, son rimas de menú, no salidas de Benur, pero calidad y del sur. Homie, always lonely, but I feeling like a gangsta. 52, a mí sí me ves venir, por eso me llaman King, ese fue mi devenir. De marchar o seguir, nunca tuve que elegir, la music me eligió a mí, no tengo nada más que decir. Saifa, Puniga, Loba, Grimble, Fire, Killerman, Smoker, Chusta, Feel Light, Rasta, Child Metal, Kimanes, Original Reggae, Saifa again.
La eterna guerra interna en la villa del pingüino, entre los que alinean la antena y los que se encuentran dormidos zarandeas tus emociones cual barril de vino, cosas feas quizás en tus ideas, pero aquí no, yo no atino, disparo sin mirar a todo aquel vampiro que el diente quiera hincarme, bro. Si lo digo, no es para pensar, sino para aclarar lo que tú siempre estás pensando. Acaba el tan magnífico, imposible de torcer metal, so start my friend, yo. Reggae warriors again, making connection after connection, my new world, creating the freedom from them, me more. Nanny boy, represent this game.
What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Floaty tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí. What time is it?
Es de reventar el beat.
Floaty tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo
falta
aquí.
presentación si existe nivel. Sobreviviendo en Babilonia escribí al papel mis problemas cuando al final pude entender que para ser feliz solo tienes que querer. Y solamente hay una vida y es para vivir. Busca siempre una alternativa para seguir. No dejes nunca que te digan que no es así. Y prende un poco de sativa para estar chill. Ey, superando ansiedades con el humo de ganja. Manchas de un pasado trágico en la cancha. Seguimos siendo fuertes, su mierda no me engancha. Mientras otros esperando a que lleguen en lancha. No matter where you come, no matter where you come from. Solo importa que prestes atención a este sound. Desde the original, Killer Man al mando. Oh, na, na, na.
Mira, soy un warrior, sonido legendario. Disfruto cada segundo cuando me subo al escenario. Tengo fuego en los labios, sigo cual mercenario. Pasos de gigante y cora revolucionario. Siento que es necesario, suena el reggae en los barrios, para que cale el mensaje y para salvar a los más sabios. Entre mi imaginario, quemo cheques bancarios. Si vienes con la mala vibra, mejor bro, cambia tu itinerario. Ya, 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 ya. Cuando ruge el león suena la música real. Venimos con el ya, 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 ya. Sonido de guiones, el sonido original. Ya, 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 ya. Reggae de corazón es el que se hace en unidad. Ya, 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 ya. What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Floaty tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí. What time is it?
Es de reventar el beat.
Floaty tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí.
Okay, Vamp. Excuse me. I have this obsession with finishing things at a certain time. So like, I don't start at 4. I start at 4:30 or at 5. Maybe I'll start at 4:15. I will never start at 4:07, 4:08. So right now there's like 7 minutes left. Okay. I just have this like compulsive, this like, you know what I mean? Like I have to like have a, you know, like end it at 2 since we're almost there. Sorry, man. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play one more song. Yeah, this is part of like who I am. You know what I mean? Dispensa family. But I would love for you to hear this one. I played it initially, and this sister doesn't get much love. I don't know why. Maybe some of us should give her some love, bro, because what she sings is fucking beautiful. So again, please forgive me. I have this obsessive compulsive disorder about having certain things done at a certain time. So stick with me, one more song and we out. But I'm going to show you a little bit of who this is and then that's it, all right?
Antes del nombre América Antes del hierro y la cruz,
Help the sister out.
había pueblos que hablaban con la tierra y con la luz. No era un mundo vacío, era ciencia y corazón. La historia empezó aquí mismo, aunque el invasor no pida perdón. Sembramos tiempo en el cielo cuando el mundo no sabía contar. El cero nació en la selva, el maíz nos enseñó a pensar. Calendarios y medicina, ciudades frente al sol. No era mito ni leyenda, era pueblo, era voz. No fue descubrimiento, fue invasión. No fue silencio, fue opresión. Antes del mapa, antes de ti, había pueblos completos que no vas a entender. No éramos pasados, somos raíz, aunque nos llamen historia, seguimos aquí. Desde el barro del origen hasta el jaguar ancestral, desde la selva profunda hasta el águila solar, ciudades que eran mundos cuando Europa se partió, capitales que flotaban mientras el viejo mundo ardió. En la montaña aprendimos a vivir sin dominar, sin rueda y sin bestias, pero sabiendo gobernar. Caminos y comunidad, trabajo como misión. El poder no era conquista, era responsabilidad. No fue progreso, fue despojo. No fue fe, fue antojo. Antes del mapa, antes de ti, había pueblos completos que no vas a entender. No éramos pasados, somos raíz, aunque nos llamen historia, seguimos aquí. Hey. 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 Quemaron nombres, vendieron memoria, alzaron fronteras sobre nuestra historia. Nos dijeron atraso para robarnos la voz, civilización a balazos y la fe pa'l control. Pero la tierra recuerda, la raíz no se rinde, aunque cambien las banderas, la herida no se extingue. De norte a sur somos la misma raíz, la misma herida que se niega a morir. De norte a sur nadie sobra aquí, Latinoamérica sigue y no va a pedir permiso para existir.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.